You know what's completely insane? The average American spends more on car payments every single month than they put into their retirement account. And nobody thinks this is weird. Look, I need you to understand something right from the start. Car payments are not normal. They're normalized. There's a massive difference. Normal means it's the optimal way to do something. Normalized means we've all collectively agreed to do something stupid and convinced ourselves it's fine because everyone else is doing it too. And car payments? They're the single biggest wealth destroyer in middle-class America that nobody talks about. Here's the thing, if you have a car payment right now, I'm not here to make you feel bad about it. I'm here to show you the actual math on what it's costing you, why the entire system is designed to keep you in perpetual car debt, and how you can break the cycle permanently. Because once you see the numbers, you can't unsee them. And once you understand the psychology behind why car payments feel normal, you'll never look at them the same way again. If you want to understand why you're working so hard but still feel broke, the answer is probably sitting in your driveway. Hit subscribe because we're about to challenge one of the most accepted financial mistakes in America. Let me hit you with some numbers that should make you angry. According to Experian's State of the Automotive Finance Market Report, the average monthly new car payment in the US is $738. For used cars, it's $532. And here's where it gets really interesting. The average car loan term is now 68 months for new cars and 66 months for used. That's 5.5 years. People are financing cars for longer than most people stay at a job. But wait, it gets worse. According to Edmunds, nearly 18% of new car loans are now 73 to 84 months. That's 7 years. 7 years of car payments on a depreciating asset. And here's the kicker. According to a study by the Federal Reserve, 85% of new cars and 55% of used cars are financed, which means the vast majority of Americans are paying interest on something that's losing value every single day. Now, you might be thinking, Brian, everyone has a car payment. That's just how you buy a car. No, that's how car dealerships and banks convinced you to buy a car. There's a massive difference. Let me show you what a typical car payment actually costs you over time. And I'm not just talking about the sticker price. Say you buy a $35,000 car. Pretty average for a new car in 2026. You put $3,000 down and finance $32,000 at 7% interest over 72 months. Your payment is $548 per month. Over 6 years, you'll pay $39,456. That's $7,456 in interest alone. You just paid $7,456 for the privilege of paying for a car over time instead of all at once. But here's what most people don't realize. This is actually way worse than it looks because cars depreciate. According to Carfax, the average new car loses about 20% of its value in the first year and about 60% over 5 years. So that $35,000 car, it's worth about $14,000 after 5 years. You paid $39,456 for something now worth $14,000. You lost $25,456, and you still have a year of payments left. But here's where it gets really interesting. And this is the part that should make you furious. Most people don't just have one car payment in their lifetime. They have car payments for their entire adult life. Let me show you what I mean. Say you're 25 years old and you start the pattern of always having a car payment. Every 6 years, you trade in your car and get a new loan. Average payment of $550 a month. From age 25 to age 65, that's 40 years. $550 per month for 40 years is $264,000. $264,000 spent on car payments over your lifetime. But it's actually so much worse than that because we haven't talked about opportunity cost yet. Here's where people's minds start to change. That $550 per month you're spending on a car payment. What if you invested it instead? $550 per month invested in an S&P 500 index fund for 40 years at an average 10% annual return, which is the historical average, gives you $3.2 million. $3.2 million. That car payment didn't cost you $264,000. It cost you $3.2 million in lost wealth. Now you might be thinking, okay, Brian, but I need a car. I can't just not have a car. You're absolutely right. But here's what you're missing. You don't need a car payment. You need a car. Look, let's talk about why car payments feel so normal when they're actually financial suicide. First, There's social conditioning. You grew up watching your parents have car payments. Your friends have car payments. Every car commercial on TV assumes you're financing. The entire cultural narrative is built around monthly payments, not total cost. When you walk into a dealership, they don't ask, how much car can you afford? They ask, what monthly payment works for you? They've shifted the entire conversation away from the total cost because they know if you thought about the total cost, you'd buy a cheaper car or buy used. Second, there's lifestyle inflation. You get a raise at work, suddenly that $550 payment doesn't feel like that much. You can afford it now, so you upgrade to a nicer car and the payment goes to $650, then $750. You're making more money, but you're not building wealth. You're just buying nicer stuff. And then there's status signaling. We've been conditioned to believe your car says something about your success. Rolling up to a client meeting in a 2015 Honda Civic feels different than rolling up in a 2024 BMW, even though the Honda probably says you're smarter with money. But here's the thing. The wealthiest people I know drive paid-off cars that are 5 to 10 years old. Meanwhile, the people who look wealthy are usually drowning in car payments, mortgage payments, and credit card debt. You know what's actually high status? Having $3.2 million in your investment account. Let me explain how dealerships are specifically designed to keep you in perpetual car debt, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's the playbook. You walk in with a car that you still owe money on. They appraise it. Let's say you owe $18,000, but it's only worth $14,000. You're $4,000 underwater. You have negative equity. Now here's where it gets interesting. They don't tell you you can't buy a new car. They just roll that $4,000 into your new loan. So now you're financing $4,000 for a car you don't even own anymore, plus the new car. Your new $35,000 car is now a $39,000 loan. And because the payment feels too high, they extend the term to 84 months to bring the payment down to something that feels affordable. You just signed up for 7 years of payments on a car that will be worth 30% of what you paid for it by the time it's paid off. And then in 3 or 4 years, you get bored of the car or it needs repairs and they go, hey, wouldn't you like to upgrade? We can get you into a brand new car for about the same monthly payment. Same monthly payment, but now it's another 7 years. You just reset the clock. This is the hamster wheel, and millions of Americans are on it right now. According to Edmunds, the average car owner trades in their vehicle every 6.5 years, but the average loan term is now 68 months, which means most people are trading in before they've even paid off the car, guaranteeing they'll roll negative equity into the next loan. It's a trap, and it's designed to be a trap. All right, so how do you actually break free from this? Here's the framework, step by step. Step 1, stop trading in cars. Ride your current car into the ground. I don't care if it's boring. I don't care if your friends have nicer cars. Every month you keep your current paid-off car is a month you're not making a payment. If you still have a payment, pay it off as fast as possible. Every extra dollar you can throw at that car loan gets you out of the cycle faster. Step 2, once the car is paid off, keep making the payment to yourself. This is critical. You're already used to that $550 leaving your account every month. Don't let lifestyle inflation eat it. Instead, set up an automatic transfer of $550 per month into a high-yield savings account labeled Car Fund. Step 3, drive your paid-off car for as long as possible while your car fund grows. Let's say you drive it for another 4 years while banking $550 per month. That's $26,400 in cash. Step 4, when your car finally dies, pay cash for your next car. With $26,400, you can buy a very reliable used car. Not new, not flashy, but reliable, safe, and paid for. Now here's where it gets really interesting. You bought a $26,000 car with cash, but you don't stop the automatic transfer. You keep putting $550 per month into your car fund. Step 5, repeat the cycle, but each time buy a nicer car with cash. 4 years later, you've saved another $26,400. Your current car is worth maybe $18,000. You now have $44,400 to spend on your next car. You can upgrade significantly and still pay cash. 4 years after that, you've saved another $26,400. Your car is worth $30,000. You have $56,400. You can buy a nearly new luxury car with cash if you want. Or, and this is what I do, you buy a $30,000 car with cash and invest the remaining $26,400. Now you've broken the cycle entirely and you're building wealth. Now look, I know what some of you are thinking. I've heard all the objections. But Brian, interest rates are low. I can earn more investing the money than the loan costs. Okay, let's do the math on this. Say you can get a 4% car loan and you believe you can earn 10% in the stock market. So you finance the car and invest the cash difference. Here's the problem. Most people who say this never actually invest the difference. They spend it. The car payment is forced. It comes out automatically. Investing is optional. It requires discipline. Most people don't have that discipline. But let's say you actually do invest it. You're betting on the market returning 10% every single year for the next 6 years. What happens if there's a recession year 2? What happens if the market's flat for 3 years? Now you're paying 4% interest on a depreciating asset, and your investment isn't outpacing it. Meanwhile, the person who paid cash has zero risk. Their car is paid for. They're now investing the full amount they would have spent on payments with no loan hanging over their head. But I need a reliable car for work. I can't risk buying used. This is dealer propaganda. A 3-year-old Toyota Camry with 40,000 miles is just as reliable as a new one. The difference is it costs $20,000 instead of $35,000. According to Consumer Reports, the most reliable used cars are typically Japanese brands 3 to 5 years old with under 50,000 miles. These cars have already taken the massive depreciation hit, but have 150,000 plus miles of life left in them. But I want to enjoy my life now. I don't want to drive a beater. I'm not telling you to drive a beater. I'm telling you to drive a paid-for car. Look, there's a massive difference between a $5,000 beater and a $20,000 3-year-old car. One is a liability that will cost you in repairs. The other is a reliable vehicle that happens to be paid off. And here's the thing about enjoying your life. You know what's more enjoyable than a new car? Not having $550 per month automatically leaving your account, not being stressed about money, having $500,000 in your investment account at age 50. The new car smell lasts about 3 weeks. Financial stress lasts until you fix the underlying problem. Here's what this is actually about. Car payments are just one symptom of a larger disease in how Americans think about money. We've been trained to think in monthly payments instead of total cost. We've been trained to finance everything: cars, furniture, appliances, even vacations now with buy now, pay later. And the result is that the average American has normalized being in debt for their entire adult life. According to Northwestern Mutual, the average American has $21,800 in personal debt excluding mortgages, and car loans make up a huge chunk of that. This is why people making $100,000 a year feel broke. It's not that they don't make enough money, it's that every dollar is already spent before it hits their account. Car payment, mortgage payment, student loan payment, credit card payment. They're on a treadmill where they work to pay for stuff they've already bought. Breaking the car payment cycle is about more than just cars. It's about rejecting the entire mindset that monthly payments are normal. They're not. They're a trap. Here's exactly what you do. If you have a car payment right now, stop trading in cars. You're keeping this one until it's paid off. Make extra payments if possible. Every extra $100 toward principal saves you months of payments. Once it's paid off, immediately redirect that payment to yourself in a separate car fund. If your car is paid off, set up automatic monthly transfers to a car fund equal to what you used to pay or what you would pay. Drive your current car for as long as it's reliable. When it dies, pay cash for the next one. For everyone, stop comparing your car to other people's cars. You have no idea if their car is paid off or if they're drowning in debt. Shift your status symbol from what you drive to what you own. Net worth is the real flex. Calculate your own opportunity cost. Take your current or hypothetical car payment, multiply by 12, multiply by 40 years, then calculate what that would be worth invested at 10% annual return. That number should make you angry enough to change. Look, I know this is hard to hear, especially if you're sitting in a car right now that you owe $30,000 on. But here's the truth. Every single month you have a car payment is a month you're choosing to stay broke. You're choosing the new car over your future financial security. And I get it. Cars are emotional. They're tied to our identity, our status, how we see ourselves. The marketing is incredibly powerful. You feel successful when you're driving something nice. But you know what actually feels successful? Having money in the bank, having investments that grow while you sleep, having the option to retire early because you weren't paying $550 a month to a bank for 40 years. The car payment trap is optional. You can break free anytime you decide that building wealth matters more than driving something impressive. Most people won't do this. They'll watch this video, nod along, and then go lease a new car next year because they deserve it. But you're different. You wouldn't have made it this far if you weren't. The best time to stop having car payments was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. So figure out your plan, run your numbers, set up your car fund, and break the cycle. Your future self is going to thank you when they're sitting on millions in investments instead of a lifetime of car payments. Now go, make it happen.